Hi guys! So in this lesson we are going to see how to assist the dev team during the development phase. So there are a few things that we need to keep in mind at this stage because this requires a different amount of work from our side. So when it comes to, for example, the design, we will need, for example, if you are working with a web app, and there's like a flow and there are some conditions, there are different paths the user could take. For example, over here I have the full finance file, and for the mortgage part, because we had like 3 services that we needed to provide landing pages for, we had mortgages, credit cards, and title loans. So for mortgages, there were like 2 stages for the application process, and this was the beginning of the second phase of that application. So we had a questionnaire, and people would reply yes or no to those questions. They didn't need to press the button to move forward, and that's why it was super important, like, to have a user-friendly layout and strategy over here. So let's say here, if I had just set all these screens without any arrows or text around it, people would need to have made like a huge effort to understand what was the connection between this slide and this one, or to check for differences. Over here, the main difference was that mortgages could apply to different types, or there were different types of mortgages: commercial, residential, and refinance application. But from there, you could derive into all these, and I copy-pasted some comments from the client, and then over here there was a bit of a diversion from the original path. So it's important to show the developers what the correct flow should be, because they won't necessarily be inside of your head to understand it. And as a designer, you will have like a first-hand experience with the client and a real close approach to what their needs were initially. So you should transmit these ideas into the development phase. That's why documenting things in Figma is super important. Mainly just like this, or also with the worksheet if you need to talk about the functionalities, like here as well. After submit, where should they be redirected? So this is a way of saving us some time correcting mistakes and some frustration for the client too, because maybe everything gets coded, and when they start trying the page out, they see that they hit submit and they don't get anywhere. So that's why it's super important to have these things in mind from the start. Also, another thing when it comes to collaboration with the dev team is that when the process is advanced, when they are rounding up the development phase, you will need to step into the process again, check what was done in the development side, and compare the final look and the final functionalities and the way the page works or the website works in comparison to what you envisioned at the beginning of the design phase and what you have in Figma. And if some of those things don't match, make sure to communicate with the developer that is in charge of the project. Maybe you can leave them some comments in Figma or over Rocket, or maybe you can create like a QA column in the boarding hub stuff and leave some checkboxes over there with all the items that they need to change. But it's your responsibility as a designer to go over the final result after the development phase and see that everything is according to Figma, is matching what you had in Figma. Because sometimes developers will also mess things up. They may choose another type of typography, or maybe they are working on 1,000 things like us. So it's important to collaborate to make sure that nothing slips. So yeah, that's basically it. Hope you enjoyed, and hope that it's useful.